My name is Nic Roldan, and I'm a professional polo player. My father was a professional polo player. I'm actually a fourth generation, so it's been in the family for 50, 60 years actually. And polo originated in India, and it's a sport obviously played on a horse. And I like to compare it a little bit to like ice hockey on horses. It's a really intense sport. It's fast. It's a great spectator sport. We're traveling at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour. You're trying to hit a ball that is about the size of a baseball. I grew up riding. I started riding when I was 2 years old, and it's been embedded in my blood, and it's been a passion of mine ever since I was a really young kid. My father was born in Argentina. Polo in Argentina is basically, after soccer, is probably the most popular sport. So for me, it was second nature. I was always a horse enthusiast, and a passion, and then my sister had a passion, and actually the whole family. So we grew up on a farm, riding horses and playing polo every day. A polo match consists of 6 periods, or we call them chukkers, and those chukkers are 7.5 minutes. So after each period, you're able to change horses, or you're supposed to change horses. So each game consists, we usually take between 6 to 10 horses. It's an extreme sport. I think it's very physical. Unfortunately, we have had accidents where people have passed away. So yes, it's physical. It's dangerous. Obviously, the higher level that you get to, I think the less dangerous it is. And just because I think the skill level is at a top level, the horses are incredible, and the mistakes that you make are very rare. It's kind of like in Formula One. We're traveling at speeds of 35, 40 miles an hour. Horses can trip, they can fall. There are accidents, so, but for the most part, knock on wood, I've been really lucky. Yeah, polo hasn't been played in I think 1930s and 1940s was the last time it was played. But I mean, at the end of the day, Argentina is the most successful and the most powerful federation, and has the best polo players. So, while I'd love to see polo in the Olympics, it's really tough, and also the logistics of it, the expenses, the cost to get horses. I think just a lot of the federations just can't afford it. So. There's definitely talks about trying to bring it back, but I think on maybe a little bit of a lower level. So, but right now it's impossible. I'm giving myself probably about 10 years of high competitive polo, and after that, I'd like to kind of pursue into more of the real estate aspect. I've always had sort of a passion and a creative eye, and I think. And being around the horse world, being around these amazing barns, and being in a world and traveling around the world where I see incredible farms and incredible houses and stuff like that, I sort of got inspired and have been investing in some real estate throughout my polo career. And it's been great. I flipped a couple of houses and sort of caught on. My mother's an interior designer, so we worked together on a couple of deals. But I started a company called Bedford Park International with 2 friends of mine, and we build turnkey equestrian facilities based in Wellington and the Palm Beach area. So we built a barn about 3.5 years ago, and it's a jumper barn. It's a horse show barn, which includes a ring, 22 stalls, housing for all the employees. And so yeah, now we're just trying to sell it. We've been renting it every year, but it's one of my passions, and it's definitely something that I want to continue doing and hopefully grow on and do some more opportunities. So a lot of it is done on a personal level. My mom she's been doing interior design pretty much her whole life, so It's, we've done 3 or 4 projects, we've flipped them, we've sold them really quickly, which has been good. I think what's kind of cool is that she has a sort of design that's a little bit more on the eclectic side, and I'm more of a modern, contemporary feel. So I think that the two they go well together. So yeah, we've been doing quite well, and I'm trying to build on that as well. So for me, after Polo, obviously you got to plan ahead, and you got to think about what, as an athlete, your career is only so long. So I'm just trying to think about the future a little bit and plan accordingly. Another one of the passions that I've had growing up is fashion. I've always loved watching, like MTV, and watching all the musicians with the new trends, and it was always something I really aspired to do. So I've been working closely with a brand called Polo, and they're a small-based company based out of Wellington, Florida, and they're looking to expand, and they're looking to expand both nationally and globally. And they want to, transform their company, and they come up with new designs and come up with more of a modern feel and more of an athleisure line. I think the trends are changing, obviously, day to day, but we're trying to grow and try to create a following of the brands. For me, I love the design aspect of it, so coming up with new ideas and new designs and working with new materials. Philanthropy has been something that's really important to me throughout my whole career. And I've always donated pole lessons to a lot of smaller organizations. And about 10 years ago, I started getting more involved with pediatric cancer, and was involved with a couple of big organizations. Going to the hospitals and getting to see the kids, these young kids that were, going through chemo, and they were too young to know what was going on, and being able to show up and put a smile on their face it affected me. I've been working a lot with pediatric cancer. I do a lot with Boys and Girls Club, and I've worked a lot with an equine welfare organization called Brook. It keeps me very busy, but it's, we're blessed, we're grateful for what we're giving, or for what I've been given in my life, and I feel like the least thing I can do is give back in as many ways as possible. So, being a 4th generation polo player, obviously, you want to try to continue the legacy, but polo is a great sport. It's a family sport. Kids love horses, so I would, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna force my kids to play polo, but obviously I will give them every opportunity they can. It's a sport it's beautiful. Both the girls and boys can play, and my sister has 2 kids, and they both play polo. So I think it's second nature, and I think if and when I do have kids, I will definitely give them all the opportunities to play. I'm Nic Roldan. You can find me on Instagram at Nic Roldan, and or you can go onto my website at www.nicroldan.com.